Hey guys, I'm Eve. This is Celine. This is Cellotape. And this is Thrill. Okay, so now we're going to look at the inside of cluster sounds. Okay, so if I click up here and I'm going to just choose angelic cries. As you can see already, the interface changed compared to what it looked like when I had the atmospheres open. And that's because clusters have multiple voices as well. So you can actually change your voice tree to determine how many different voices you want within that cluster. I've clicked on my little waveform underneath the little box here. And this gives us our volume, panning, the pitch of that cluster, your envelope as well, so the attack and release, and your mix, which we went over before, which gives you the positioning of the mics for those sounds. If I click to the icon next to the waveform, it's like a little gear stick. It's actually to control your voices. Up here, you can actually choose how many voices you have. Now clusters generally have between 1 and 8 voices. You can control how many of those voices you want to be playing at once by clicking on the arrows here, either side of where it says voice and the number. So if I click to the left, I go 1 voice, and then if I click all the way to the right, you'll see it goes up through to 8. I can also change the tuning of each of the voices as well by clicking on the actual number and holding it and then moving it left or right. You'll see the tuning knob will change depending on where I move each number. Okay, so you can really go into each sound. Down here you have your volume and panning, and you can also edit the tuning from here. Here you have your strength. So the strength knob will change the additional voices in the cluster tree but keeping the volume ratios intact. Here you have your glide setting. When this is selected, all of your voices start by playing at the root pitch, and then as you increase the intensity they will go to their desired pitches that have been selected. If you click add-on, only the first voice will start playing, and then as you increase the intensity the other voices will come in. So if I use parallel, that means that the cluster voices will all play at their intended settings, and they'll just change in intensity as we increase the thrill. On my left thrill, I have a cluster, and on my right, I have an atmosphere. If both thrills are clusters, that then unlocks the key split and octave settings. So I'm going to change this now to a cluster so you can see those settings. There we go, so now we have 2 clusters. As you can see down the middle, we now have split and the octaves. So the octave controls are here and here. When the split button is activated, what that will do is literally split your keyboard into 2 halves. So thrill A, which is your left thrill, will play at the lower part of your keyboard, and thrill B, which is your right thrill, will play on the higher part of your keyboard. So if I click along now to the effects section, you'll see the left and right sections for each thrill. At the bottom of these boxes, you can see that they're split into 3 different sections. So you've got your mod effects, your EQ and your space. So these allow you to modulate the effects of the instrument and the thrill factor. You can see that there's 5 knobs. You've got hacker, mutate, color, drive and phaser. You can adjust each of these individually. The mutate one has a secondary function. Up here you have your main mode for selecting the effect category, and then underneath it you have a secondary menu that selects a specific type of effect. When I click the EQ, that gives you a 4-band EQ, which allows you to fine-tune the timbre of each instrument. If I click on space, that will be your reverb and delay, and it will give you a virtual space to put your instrument in as well. And you can change that here by just clicking the arrows left and right either side of where it says spaces. You can also link A and B together. When you press the link button, you'll see the parameters on the B thrill will disappear. If I unclick it, they'll reappear, which will allow you to edit those parameters separately. This last tab is your master tab, and obviously this will control the overall sound, so you can EQ it, add some saturation, some compression and stuff. Okay, so that's Thrill. I hope you've enjoyed it. If there's anything that you want me to cover, any expansion packs or instruments you'd like me to do a walkthrough on, please leave your comments below. Also follow me on Facebook and Insta, and you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel, Peak Music UK. Used to give me roses. I wish he would